in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
Peace, family. Your brother KentX, aka Mr.100, and you are tuned in now live with Mr.100, Real as It Get, the podcast. My name is Brother KentX. I am a member of the Nation of Islam, proud student and follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who has been the greatest example of his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're forever grateful and thankful for Master Farrar Muhammad coming 9,000 miles by himself to seek and save that which was lost, fulfilling all of the scriptures, that we may know the reality thereof. I apologize for my lack of consistency on the podcast, really just killing that self-doubt within self. And basically what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be shedding the positive light on our brothers who are predominantly in the entertainment industry and entertainment period, because too often the negative things that they do are magnified. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that too. You know, we're going to talk about how it is that we feel with our situation with our brother Young Thug Gunner and the whole YSL movement. You know, we want to talk about the beef between T.I. and Boosie. More so not from the perspective or the angle of striving to continuously keep beef and problems and things of that nature going, but we definitely want to come from the angle of looking at it from an elevated position by which we can truly understand and know within the entertainment industry what time it is. What do you mean within the entertainment industry, knowing what time it is? Because a lot of times our brothers and sisters are not even aware truly of their real value. And so the hip hop culture, the movement in general, period, point blank by itself, really has the power to change the reality of our people as a whole. If we would just but unite, you understand, and put it before our people to allow for them to know and to understand, man, the greatest gift we have is our connection with God. You know, whom I choose to call Allah. But you know, you'll hear me speak a lot of different languages, man. I definitely, hip hop is one of my passions. You know, I do conscious music. You know, a lot of people say I sound like Tupac, but you can find out for yourself. I take that as a compliment and not a slight, because I understand the spirit in which Brother Tupac came. So I'm just feeling it out. If y'all would let me know, comment below. Right now it's at KentX974 on YouTube. It is at Gangster to God on the gram, and Muhammad KentX on Facebook. But eventually I'm gonna get all of that where it say the same to make it a lot more simpler for people. Also too as well, man, we're gonna be getting in to my journey, man, of really being homeless, on drugs, you know, in and out of prison, gang banging, being a hustler. I always like to put that one last, because in reality, for me to be able to put that last, what that'll do for me is it always keep me humble. It always keeps me where I need to be, right? Because a lot of times we like to glorify that lifestyle, but realistically, man, hey, it's a lot more to it than that. But we are gonna just come here, man, and dialogue as men in general, in particular black men and our sisters, man, and just be able to use this platform and build this platform as a means by which it'll be the voice of the people. A lot of times, you know, man, entertainers, they may sell tickets or throw shows and do this and do that, and a lot of times we get caught up, you know, in the rigorous formality of getting money. But at the end of the day, I believe, honestly, and it's my humble opinion, that us as artists, if we unite and come together and construct more so a government among the industry, then hey, man, you know, what would that look like for rappers to be united on the East Coast committee, a Southern region committee, a Southwest region committee, a Western region committee, a Midwest Northern region committee, where we come together and we allocate amongst ourselves by means, methodologies, and ways that we could come up, man, with a systematic way to improve a lot of these ghettos and situations and things that we come from, where we would be able to make those situations better. And I think it starts with dialogue with the people, because for me, it's not just good enough for me to have my hand in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Getting your money in, I'm feeding you filth and debauchery, right? I'm inadvertently, systematically destroying the mindset, mentality, and the strength of the new generation that's coming up in so many ways. And it's not a slight to talk down or hate or be disrespectful to anybody who's in the music industry. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not qualified to judge. I can only walk in my shoes. I just know what my experience is and what it is that I see. And I feel that we as a people have to begin to hold our artists to a whole nother level, to a whole higher standard than what it is that we've been doing. Because realistically, in reality, we owe ourselves and we owe one another much more. You know, my current situation, and what I'm going through, how I'm living, man. Right now, I'm doing my podcast live from the shelter, but it is what it is, you know. And I'm not afraid to let that be known. Neither share that situation, man, or story with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a part of the process, man. I wouldn't give up some of the thoughts and the belief, in the spirit, man, in the connection, in my sincerity, man, that I've gotten going through this trial for nothing, man. I'm truly falling in love with me, the journey, and the process, and I would love for y'all to be a part of it with this too as well, man. As I begin to increase my knowledge and understanding in finance, I want to share that with y'all too as well. So if you just let me know some of the things down low in the comment sections that you definitely will be willing and wanting to learn and to know, and that's what we'll do. Maybe you pick a situation, you pick a current event, you pick something going on, and hey, we'll begin to dissect, break that thing down, and look at it, man, from all different angles and ways, so that we can learn and grow from one another. That's what it's all about, you know, deliberative dialogue. And we don't have to be filling up the comment sections or sharing stuff every time when it's about, oh, two rappers beefing, or they fighting, or they doing this and they doing, man, look, man, we ain't got time for that stuff. You hear me? War has been on, it's begun. You understand what I'm saying? And not only is it a spiritual warfare, but it's also as well mental and physical. And it's time for us to unite. And the time is coming where all of this stool pigeon selling each other out, man. There's gonna be some heads took out behind it there. Now, I ain't throwing no threats or nothing, but I'm just keeping it real, man, that the energy, the spirit, and the integrity for us as a people to be united, it must be uplifted. And that's just what that is. That's 100. But anyway, fun fact. Give y'all a little fun fact right quick. Fun fact of the day. I posted on my page about the different things that we eat, ingest, and put into our body that causes us harm. Some of y'all favorite chips might be Doritos, Fritos, or cheese puffs, or what may have you. And these things in particular are realistically what could possibly destroy, hurt, and break us down. And I go into that, man, how that deals with our sexual nature, our ability to think and everything, because really the whole complete gist of this podcast is definitely about mindset, right? Made up mind, where our mind is at. You know, the things that we've been lied and told that we had to think or that we had to have going on realistically in order for us to be successful. We just really got to realize what time it is, what's happening, what's going on. So anyway, as we continue to move forward, y'all know it's a little movement in the background back there. It is what it is. I'm at where I'm at. It'll get better. But hey, I'm going to keep moving. One day we'll be in a big studio with the lights and outlet there. We ain't got to worry about nobody coming in and out. But until the end, man, I got to get it in. I got to do what I got to do. I got to follow instructions. You understand? Somebody give me instructions to do a particular thing, though I may not understand it fully and completely. Hey, shout out to my brother KentX, man. 100, man. Definitely have been a great brother to me You know what I'm saying? Not only in deed, not only in word, but in deed too as well. And man, I guess I gotta touch on this here a little bit too. You know, a lot of times, man, we go through things and, you know, we slip and fall, or we take something in particular for granted, right? And in the midst of us being in a particular condition and situation, we begin to look at somebody who we may think is in a better financial condition than us, or they got it made, or they got this going on. And we will automatically assume that we should be reaching our hand out, or that somebody should be giving us something. You know, this is a real story. This is true, big facts. I remember being part of a program, working for a company. And in the midst of me working for this company, I was on a fast. Brother Ben can bear me witness, and a few other brothers as well. But I was on a fast. And in the midst of me being on that fast, for about 13, 14 days, you know, I was on a fast because I made some foolish decisions, you know, when relapsing, that pretty much in particular put my family members in a financial bind, you know, by me not holding up to my end of the bargain. And in the midst of that, I was so focused and intense on the fast that I said, look, man, I ain't eating till I get $10,000. And, you know, right then and there began to show me, even though I didn't buy all the way into it, the power of my mind. Because in saying that, I was thinking that it was gonna be a lot of hard work, or it was but just the discipline and the clearing of the mind and sending the thoughts out into the atmosphere. We was in Calabasas, California, sitting at a table. And brother was like, you gonna eat, brother? I was like, no, sir, brother, I'm fasting. Why you fasting? I make $10,000. Oh, you just want to make some money, huh? No, sir. Well, why do you want the $10,000? Told her, brother, why I wanted the $10,000. And at the end of the day, brother put his hand across the table and told me, I'll give you $10,000 when we get back home. Shout out to brother Jake, man. He did that. Shout out to brother Winford. Because in reality, man, bro, we all make faults. You understand what I'm saying? We all slip and fall, and the minister has been the perfect example of allowing for us to know and treat one another. Because when we say we God's, right? When we truly and honestly say that we are God's, right? That we are made in the likeness, in the image of God. That does not just mean that it only pertains to me focusing in, or me concentrating on building the material of things more so than it is people. And yeah, we gonna get hurt. Yeah, we gonna get scarred. But look at Jesus, man. And having known the thoughts of the people, master the radio in the head, they already knew what was going on. He was so in tune. So he knew all of the disciples that was with him was gonna turn their back, betray him, and sell out. But he knew that this had to happen because in the long run, because the nature of righteousness was already in the beings of the disciple, that fall, right, was imminent for a major comeback. See, and sometime I've learned that just by us responding as God would respond, it does something to the being of individuals that cause them to transform unseen. Yeah, we might have made a mistake. We might have did this. We might have did. But the only reason why it hurt is because it was somebody we loved. It was somebody we were close to. But no matter how successful we become, if we go back and we look at the reality and the fact that we have all fallen short of the glory of God, that all of our righteousness are as filthy rags before him, the book say. Then none of us are qualified really to be pointing a finger and tripping with each other. We just need to be finding out how we can help. You understand what I'm saying? Because too often we go into things with a mindset of suspicion. Too often we go into things looking for something wrong, and that's what hurt really a lot of us when it comes to business and being successful. Because really, subconsciously, when it's a black person or it's somebody of the so-called minority, we don't trust that. Oh yeah, we get the same information. Matter of fact, I seen somebody post a post and say, you could be selling dogs for 2,500 bullies for 2,500, but because your friend think you ought to give it to him for 250 and you won't, he was tripping on the 2,500 from you, but to go to somebody else and spend 3,000. Ain't that something? It just shows you our mentality and our psyche. Because see, the enemy's objective, the only power really in truth that the enemy has, the only power the enemy has is to whisper and accuse and tell lies. But now that telling lies thing is deep, because sometimes we assume and think we're smart enough to just take some of the hidden clues and not realize that the manipulation on high could have been from a whole external source. So sometimes our lack of communication, sometimes our lack of understanding, sometimes our lack of compassion can develop certain things, because when certain people have been through particular ordeals in their life and they've been traumatized in certain ways, you have become and evolved into a particular person who may have mastered emotional intelligence, who may have mastered just being in love with themselves and not needing any external inspirations or upliftment. But even though no matter how successful people may be, everybody has that degree to them of necessary companionship, things that need to be said, connections that need to be made. And so sometimes we just have to be vulnerable, period, as men. Now, I ain't talking about this new wave stuff they got going on, but y'all know what I mean. Sometimes we just have to be vulnerable. We have to be really willing to just be vulnerable, man, and let that be understood, and not put on some fake or fictitious front like we tough. Unnecessary, brothers and sisters. But yeah, so with that being said, man, that is what that is. We one family. And hey, we all gonna get through this thing by Allah's grace and permission. Cause it say that we believe that we can beat the prophecy of the 144,000. But we really believe, huh? And we know that if each one reach one, teach one, love one, we can do this. Yeah, we gonna get some knots upside the head. Some of us might die, whatever the case may be. And I ask Allah God every day to give me that spirit and put it in my heart to be ready to rock out. Because I was ready to ride and die behind my hood and the color. Really in the community, there's some stuff I ain't even on. Not even my feelings. They was based on what somebody else did or didn't do. But that's another story for another time. But anyway, man, it's a contest coming up. And I'm really in my feelings, you know, due to not maneuvering and taking care of my business as needed and as necessary, man. $299. The day ain't over with yet, though. The day ain't over with yet. Man, and I know for a fact, boy, jumping in that contest, oh, bro, they ain't got nothing for me. They ain't got nothing for me. You know, I'm talking about they ain't got nothing for me. And I say that with all humility because the struggles and the things that I've been through, man. They talking about you ain't got nothing. Well, let us hear something. All right. This is a throwback. I do what I do because boys are snitching and time are ticking. Haters say that he couldn't, can't, he won't get it. Funky time to city, I goon get to the gritty. Grinding for every penny. Ask the Lord to forgive me, no burden beyond my limit. Lord, I don't know my limit, but every second you give me, with every breath that you give me, I max it out to the finish. Hoping my pain, and I know it won't. I ain't tripping, I'll endure it to the end. On the corner, got my game tight, life in the hood. It got my mind right. Let it be understood. Gangster to the end of me, no need for friend. Daddy want a brand new Bentley. History being made. Love when I get paid. Fresh off lot. Discharge papers just the other day. Preferably hearing the free. I'd rather be. But if you ever go to tripping, then I know where I'ma be. Cause time so precious. Tomorrow not a promise to you. Me and mine good and fine. I gotta do what I do. Wise eyes on the ones close to you. You know the roaches and snitches make a real G. Do what I do. Hey, shout out, I'ma do what I do. Homie, for real, gon' do what you do. You know when we come through. On On 26 is spending some in this blue. Pour out the liquor for the killer zone. Lord, I'ma do what I do. KO the soldier, do him well, refusing to fail. Honestly, I Weinstein, legal ways for mail. Resident he in hell, constantly in the cell. He say he'll never tell. Under pressure they frail. Looks not what they used to be. Watching the one close to me, artificial. For indeed his mouth say he'll ride for me, die for me, never send a dime to me. Lie to me, gambling, dealing with you. I might as well pay the lottery, informing them. You possibly working for the Fed. Started like Scarface, end up like Bill Gates tomorrow. Not a promise, I promise I never hesitate. You know, that's just a little something, man. But yeah, you know, little something to throw back. And I try to give y'all a line or two every time we come live on the podcast. But yeah, man, we winding down, getting ready to step out to a lacrosse game today. Been a beautiful day, man, doing for self. So, you know, man, y'all keep it and stay tuned. Oh, let me give you a little bit about the brand we building, man. Gangsta the God, the movement. If you don't know, Gangsta the God simply represents us coming from the mentality of those who impressed us in the name of real, right? Coming up out of the mentality of those who really inadvertently put us into this condition, took these good and righteous principles that a lot of the gangs, really all of the gangs started for, and really gradually manipulated us into something that became self-destructive to ourselves. So really that's violation, right? I hear this all the time. They talking about, oh, what's violation is when we ain't really being a community revoluting in progress, when we really ain't brothers leading others out of darkness or destruction, whatever it is you may want to call it. You know what I'm saying? A growth and development. You understand what I'm saying? All of it's universal, and this we know, we understand. But at the end of the day, I see all this, what they talking about, sliding on the eye, popping, boop, 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 all of this and that. Say, man, it's a real war getting ready to go on. Already happening. Really right before our eyes. And at the end of the day, those of us who want to turn around and kill each other for nothing, man, listen, man, God is real and you will be dead with. Just like my boy Nipsey say, you can't escape the energy. You keep putting that energy out. You best believe, bro. It's gonna come back. You hear me? It's gonna come back. Believe that though. But anyway, so basically, the Gangsta the God, the movement, you will see it G's up. You know what I'm saying? That represent God's up. You know, we tapping into the positive side. We still gonna keep the G because it's a universal sign. So don't think, oh, he talking about God, but he be out here throwing up gang sign. So you gonna see the G's up. You understand what I'm saying? From Gangsta the God, the movement. Yeah. 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 You're gonna see that for sure. Yeah. Because that represents me putting the teachings and the things I know into my language, what I come from, what I suffer, the trials and tribulations that I went through, and things of that nature. And we'll be getting deeper into some of my personal stories and backdrops and things that I've went through in my life. You know, as time goes on and we begin to move forward, believe that there. You understand? But yeah. So, you know, from Gangsta to God, the movement, man, and basically right now we are in the adolescent or embryonic phase of getting a nonprofit started, volunteering in the juveniles, you know, man, wherever, you know, man, I can come speak and do my music. You know, you can. I'm getting that set up too, where you can book me. You know, I'll come and speak to whatever group, whatever crowd. You know, in particular, you know, youth, young men, you know, man, who are trying to find their way up out the ghetto, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, I understand. I've been there. I know what it was, and it's a choice that I made because I grew up, you know, in the mines, knowing the teachings, different, being, how you say, I had contact with the teachers. Let's say that I had contact with the teachers, because to know is to exemplify regardless of circumstance, regardless of situation, regardless to whom or what. We ought to exemplify that which we know when we know. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why they say when you know better, you do better. Don't mean because you read it and you've been presented with it, but when you know, it becomes a part of your being. And then it activates into wisdom once it's applied. So yeah, you know, you'll see a lot of things coming this way, but understand that I'm just your brother and I'm a servant, and I'm here to do the best that I can, man, to help us, to help my teacher. You know what I'm saying? The man that I love dearly, for sure, who changed my life. When I was an orphan and I told my mama at the age of 8, or 10 to take me and leave me at the Mars. This facts. This can be proved. Leave me at the Mars. You know, so I grew up with the FOI. Grew up with the MGT. You know, as my mother, man, and you know, so it's in me. And it's in me. It ain't on me. But of course, man, the gravitational pull of this world. You know what I'm saying? The gravitational pull of this world. When we don't know who we are, and we don't understand that we can represent who we are, man, in such a way that really we the superstars. The righteous are the superstars. You understand what I'm saying? The righteous are the superstars. We are just that, you know. And oh, you know, I gotta say this. I ain't got no commercials yet, but they coming. Yeah, oh yeah, believe me, they coming for sure. The commercials coming. But right now, man, we working on our blue and our red headbands. To represent the unity. You know, we're gonna have some more coming. You know what I'm saying? The unity of the Crips and Bloods coming together as one family. You know, we're gonna have a whole little design with that. You're gonna be able to get that ebook coming soon. And the music, man, keep it dropping. You know what I'm saying? Work. And, you know, we getting into the understanding of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency and things of that nature. So, you know, as I begin to learn more, I'll be willing to share more, you know. And for those who, oh, cryptocurrency, yeah, okay, whatever, yeah, okay. Because with the modern technology, right, we are taught, we are given a command within the supreme wisdom, right down to the modern day time. What is the modern day time? Why does Islam renew her history every 25,000 years? To equal the circumference of our planet Earth. See, we have to understand and realize and understand this, that the circumference represents the circulatory, not the fullness thereof, but there's a certain bound of wisdom. Now, we know that the wisdom of God cannot be exhausted, but whatever the world is rotating around at that moment in time really is an imaginary circumference. Bitcoin, right? These different type of entities and things that, you know, we have to get into to understand, because now, man, with Bitcoin, it really is crashing the international bankers, the centralizing banking system, period, right? And even more relevant than that, by being the means of exchange, we can invest in gold. Just like we done jumped on a jet, went and did some business way over there in Sweden. For those of us that owe a little bit of that child support, can't get them passports yet. But anyway, and I think it's a way around that. Oh, it is. I know, just pay, huh? Yeah, but I was telling them too, man, with that, for anybody who has that on their credit report, you can call and file and let them know that you do not want that to show up on your credit report, because they understand that the interest rates are unconstitutional, basically, in a nutshell. And if you can, man, work it out with the baby mama. You understand? And get that money order and keep that receipt and get it money to the baby mama, and then it can be turned in to the courts. But that's a whole nother story, man. Shout out to my baby girl, Maya. You know what I'm saying? No, I love you. Shout out to baby mama, Keisha, who been holding it down, man, and my weaknesses and inconsistencies. So, you know, it's bigger than me. I go hard. You know, shout out to Gigi. Granted, shout out to my mama, man. Shout out to everybody who been instrumental in my life, really, who wanted to see my growth and development, man. So, basically, as I said, we got Gangsta the Gods, the movement. When you see it, you know what it is. Yeah, it's me. And you're gonna see either the G's up or a sign on my face. The G's up got the red and the blue in the hand, and then you'll see the G's up. Shout out to Sister Marquis for the design. But yeah, man, y'all stay tuned, man. We got a lot of big things coming, man, for sure. And remember this, tell yourself you love yourself, so you ain't gotta worry about nobody else telling you. And then on top of that, remember, slow down, breathe, T-H-I-N-K, think, because it ain't hard to do, for real. This is episode 1 of Mr.100, Real As It Get, the podcast. Share, like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know any comments that you may have, something that you may want to hear, something you want me to cover, something you want to hear my perspective on, because I sure want to hear your perspective. Yes. And we're gonna be elevating, y'all. I'm just working with a cell phone right now. You understand? Trying to go give me a Apple laptop, because the computer that I did have, it won't even take updates no more. Little old Acer Chromebook out of there, you know. But anyway, man, went and tried to give me one from Best Buy, and they want the lease. It's too much. So anyway, man, I'm doing everything I can right now. Gotta turn up some more, gotta go harder, gotta keep going. But anyway, man, I just want to take this time to bring y'all this right here, man. Much love to yourself. Love yourself. Peace. Signing out. Mr.100. Till next time. Man,
why they mad? Cause I got this money, and they so glad when you ain't got nothing. And I know you don't